You've got a lot of silver gray-haired characters around you. You're just rewatching Kuroko, Gintama's main character. I just dyed my hair silver and gray.
Oh yeah.
So like you just got
blue.
Look, dude, I get it, man. You just miss good old Crim. I get it. Dude. I get it. I get it.
All right. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Niisan podcast. I almost forgot what I was saying because I'm not even here. Who am I?
I think you're an NFT now, right?
I've been minted into the blockchain. That's right. I've been going through some things, and I would say I'm not exactly camera prepared. So I'm just a non-fungible Xell
an NFW, non-fungible weeb.
Yeah, so there it is. That's what I'm going to be today. And of course,
dude, let's get that going. Can we get NFWs trending? Like that's what we gotta get. Yeah, only the weeb markets though will know what's up.
Sure, and just in case we forget, I'm Xell, and with me is
Crim, also known as the Asian Avenger. I haven't fully bought into the NFW world yet, so I'm not like Xell.
We'd have to talk
I'm still tangible.
We'd have
real,
to talk
guys.
To what's his face up at Facebook. I mean Metaverse. See if we can get NFWs involved. We gotta talk to our fellow billionaires. I say fellow because we're obviously also billionaires.
Our peers.
Yes,
our peers. Amongst
I was calling my boy Billy Gates and
yep. We're close. We know each other, Billy.
Yeah. We shouldn't have said that publicly. He doesn't like it when we call him Billy in public. But
one would say we're out of his budget, but not in the way you think.
But yes, anyways, I guess first up, we're going to be later talking about some anime stuff because, it's a new year and a new season. And we reviewed it in our previous episode where we talked about, the season not being exactly the strongest season. And so
it's crap. You could just.
Okay. All right. It's crap. So and so I think this is a good moment for us to all reflect and think about all the anime we've missed over the years. And hey, this is a great time to catch up and, revisit some of these old animes that you may have missed for, whatever reason or another. So Crim and I have put together a couple of anime shows that we've been either catching up on ourselves or just things that we know we want to catch up on eventually. But before that...
Or shows that we finished a little bit after they've aired.
And so, let's first get into our weekly session where we talk about all the latest news in our world of anime and beyond. So first up, it's been discussed now that Scott Pilgrim is getting an anime series, and this is going to be led by Science Saru.
Yes, I mean Science Saru. I'm not as huge on a lot of their shows like you are, because I mean, you are speaking of shows that we should catch up on. You constantly recommend Ping Pong the animation.
Just do it, man.
So
just watch it.
But yeah, I will some days
just
soon. Some days.
Is
soon.
it on your list? It better be.
It will be, sure. It's on there, just narrowly missing out the ones that I've got on here. But they've got other ones too. I really like Hands Off the Hands Off the Kaisen, all that stuff. They've got some really good animes.
Yeah, so I think I'm excited. Scott Pilgrim at this point has been in how many different mediums now? So I guess it's time for them to be in anime. Yeah, live action movie. They were originally
which is underrated, by the way. Edgar Wright killed that movie.
Yeah.
Visually, everything from it. I loved it.
So yeah, I guess we get to see Science Saru's take on it. So I think for Scott Pilgrim fans, they'll be pretty excited about it.
This makes a lot of sense. Scott Pilgrim would make a perfect anime. When I think about it, everything after it's all said and done, it feels like the perfect anime. Whether you read the graphic novel, because if you read the graphic or the comics or whatever that they had. when they would play music, they would have the chords so you could kind of like play along. Like if you play like any kind of guitars or any kind of instruments at all, I thought that was pretty great. Like it was in the manga, right? Or like in the comic. And I feel like that kind of shows that it's already got like this heavily music inspired thing, right? With the sex bombs. So naturally, you can kind of just turn this into like Beck. You could like this could just be like Beck or some kind of music anime, yeah. So I think this works.
Yeah, and I think especially with Science Saru and their sort of like off the wall, Science Saru, I think is pretty different than the average anime studio, and like I'm excited to see like what creatively they bring, because like in every form of Scott Pilgrim, the visuals are such a big part of what makes Scott Pilgrim so, you know, because it's so stylized, right? And so I'm just I'm excited to see what their take on the Scott Pilgrim anime will be. Moving on, speaking of shows that I want to catch up on, Odd Taxi is getting a movie called In the Woods. Odd Taxi in the Woods, and we'll talk about Odd Taxi later, because that's actually a spoiler alert. That's going to be on my list later on.
Wow, dude, my immersion, the spoilers. How could you do this? You know what? It's okay. If you're all upset about that spoiler, you can turn off. I get it. You can turn it off now.
In any case, more anime news too. We've got Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is earning big bucks over in Japan, earning 5.87 billion yen in 11 days.
Yes!
Yeah, and meanwhile, like everybody else is just looking through the glass windows at Japan, like, please, hello.
I'm celebrating over here as if I've seen it. I haven't seen it. I don't.
You got enough to share like with the class, Japan? Like, what's happening here? I feel a little left out.
I'm a little salty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like super happy it's doing well, but like, damn it, man. I'm just like, it's like back in like grade school, you know? The one kid, like Japan, had fruit gushers and all this other stuff packed for lunch, and I'm just like staring at like my 4 Triscuits, and I'm just like, dude.
Hey man, Triscuits kind of slap too.
Dude, in grade school, I don't think you're gonna try to tell me Triscuits slapped harder than Fruit Gushers.
That's true. If Fruit Gushers and Triscuits went to the same school together, Triscuits would definitely be shut into a locker. Now that's the anime I want to see. Just like
that's the
Lunchables,
Triscuits
the
confirmed, made for nerds by the nerds.
But yeah, like I think at this point I'm just like, please, Jujutsu Kaisen, when are we gonna get it? I don't actually know what their plan is on getting it to global audiences. It would have been cool.
I mean, how long did Demon Slayer take?
Don't ask, because that was way too long. That was literally like a year after. So
that's my concern, because I want to see my boy Yuta. I want to see, because I mean, I read Zero. I got everything on. I saw like, but like, I kind of lightly spoiled it for myself. I read a little bit on what's going on in the internet, and people are saying there's some stuff that isn't in the manga that they added to this, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's very rare, by the way, where you hear, oh, they took the liberties to add stuff, and it was awesome. So yeah, I'm only making it worse and giving myself more blue balls.
If you're into that, you know, keep going, Crim.
You know,
following that up,
emotional
I think
asphyxiation.
Okay. Crim, why don't you take these? I know that there's some anime announcements that you were excited about as well.
Oh boy! So some season 2s that like specifically before we get to that. For all my favorites out there that enjoy the finer things in life, if you can hear it, there's a faint like sound coming in from the distance. It's roaring up, almost like it's in a Toyota 86, right? And you can hear the Eurobeat from a distance. That sound, yes, that sound is MF Ghost manga gets a TV anime adaptation. That's right. For those that don't know, I'll give you a quick rundown. It aired in the manga Weekly Young magazine in 2017. And it ended 4 years after the ending of Initial D. MF Ghost takes place 15 years following the events in Initial D. And dude. Yeah. Eurobeat's back on the menu. So that is the goal here.
And the crowd goes
I'm so
wild.
excited.
Wow.
Woo! Now we're running in 2022, which doesn't have as much of a ring to it, but like running in 2022, baby, that's the new jam. I'm excited for this. I saw the preview trailer for it. It looks really, it looks like Initial D, and so like I'm ready for that and a lot more of that. And we've got some other second season stuff coming in, like Slime 300, where that got an announcement. I know Xell dropped that, but Slime 300's on that, and we've got something that both Xell and I watch and enjoy though, like Vampire Dies in No Time season 2. So lots of season 2s are coming down the pipeline for some really cool shows or some fun shows. And also MF Ghost.
And MF Ghost. It still takes me 2 seconds to realize like what MF Ghost is. I'm like, oh, okay.
I look. I don't want to lie to you, dude. You don't gotta like hide your excitement. I know you're excited, so I got you.
And other news within our sphere, Square Enix, the president came out with a statement talking about being pro NFT. NFTs are just everywhere. You can't escape them. And
nope.
In this beautiful post-apocalyptic capitalistic world that we live in, everyone wants.
You thought you got
NFTs.
away from it here on this podcast, but it got
everywhere.
us too,
dude. I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed in companies that they just see the dollar signs and they're like, "Yep, that's where we're headed." But yeah, I don't know. I still think NFTs
even
are really
Fallout
dumb.
Boy is in on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
they
like
just did
everywhere.
something in it.
It's everywhere. NFTs are everywhere. I really I don't know when this bubble will burst because I still think it will. But so there's that.
Right?
I guess I'm personally more sad about it because I play Final Fantasy 14, and it would be could you imagine a really sad world in the future where I don't know, they just self-insert NFTs into the thing. It was funny because there's a lot of Fallout I saw on Twitter, and some of the memes were coming up where because in previous Square games, you could actually fight the president of Square Enix in a boss battle, like in Nier and in Metal Gear. And so people were like, oh my God, that was a premonition. We should have known. They gave us the warning signs. We could have defeated the big boss himself, but no. So yeah,
we didn't heed their warnings.
Yeah, and also speaking of I guess big company stuff, Twitch has had some pretty big news recently where Pokimane was banned for restreaming Avatar: The Last Airbender. So for people who are out of the know,
that's the queen of Twitch, by the way, right? She's the queen of Twitch, and she got the ban hammer.
Yeah. So the thing is, okay. So what's weird to me is that I guess the meta of Twitch right now, if you're a big Twitch streamer, is to restream whatever copyrighted material you can get your hands on. And so I've been seeing people restream Naruto in its full entirety on screen. I believe Hassan has been banned for watching MasterChef, and so it's just
I think it was a copyright strike.
Oh, just a copyright strike. Okay, didn't get banned for it. But it's wild to me that so many streamers are just blatantly doing copy. And don't get me wrong, I don't think DMCA a lot of copyright stuff is purely bull crap to put it at the least. I think there's a lot of things there, but this is not it, man. And I don't really understand why Twitch streamers are so blatant about it, because it wasn't even a year ago, was it, where people were having huge fallouts over the music ban, right? And and where people were being really confused about oh, I didn't know I couldn't use music on my stream, and I had to delete all these VODs, and I had to go well, what do you think is going to happen again here? As you draw the ire of more copyright lawyers and corporations to Twitch, it's it's putting a really bad angle on Twitch, in my opinion. And I think the big streamers
Twitch can
are
only do so much.
Yeah.
Right. For it's very rare that I will like 100% defend like a big company. Right. Mm-hmm. But like them drawing like the eyes to Twitch, I guess it's like publicity, which I guess no, like bad publicity is still good publicity. I guess.
don't know.
But even then, like I don't think this is the right way to go about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we brought up MasterChef just now, and also I think on a funnier, brighter note, there was a show that Gordon Ramsay, I forgot what the show is actually called, but one of the contestants of the show,
Iron Chef.
was it Iron Chef? Okay,
I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. Iron Chef Twitch.
but we got to play this clip for you, Mr. Editor, if you can somehow put this in, but. I think it was hilarious because Gordon Ramsay had a contestant who is a Twitch streamer, and she was asked, like, hey, where do you cook? What's your day job? And she's like, I cook for my channel on Twitch. And he says, what the F is what the F is Twitch? And I thought that was just hilarious. And it was Trisha Wang who was the contestant, and I believe the show was Next Level Chef. And so, yeah, it's just it was just like a really funny moment, and
it's literally in his by the way, on his Twitter profile. It's a part of it, so it's always near food. ... Doesn't know what Twitch is.
Yeah, and but I think what's funny is that Gordon Ramsay has now been reached out to a bunch of big streamers, and I think potentially in the future there might be something there. Although if everyone's dicking around with these copyright things, maybe he won't, because literally Hassan got a copyright strike from MasterChef. So I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for today's Weeb Weekly. Unless you got something else to share with the class.
No, we're good. I mean, we're good to go into the next segment. Also, Dress Up Darling, watch first episode. Watch it.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, that came out literally today, so I'm excited. Definitely one of those shows that I was excited to watch from this season. So. Okay,
Gosh.
Let's get into the main meat topic of today. So like we discussed earlier, it is about the anime that we have been catching up on, and shows that we didn't watch basically when they aired, and shows that we want to revisit, especially now it seems like we're going to have the time to do so.
Oh, we got the time.
Yeah, you want to kick us off, Crim?
All right. I think let's go ahead and go right into it. Yeah. Good idea. Okay, so one of the ones that oftentimes I would always get told to watch and check out, especially with how much I loved, I love me my romance.
Well,
I was told to watch.
Really?
I know. It's just so unheard of with me. But like one of the romances, and like it's not just pure romance, it's got a sci-fi element to it, and it's really cool. It's Bunny Girl Senpai, or Rascal Girl Doesn't Dream Bunny Senpai, whatever the long Fallout Boy title is. But yeah, like that show, when I watched it, first off, it was sweet, it was heartwarming, and then it got sad as hell. I was just like, hello? Hold on.
Oh,
why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, when did we get really sad? Because I wasn't ready for that yet. Like, between all the... I finished, and by the way, this is only 12 episodes. I know there are movies for it, and I'd only seen the show. But, dude, I watched one episode, I blinked, and I was done in a night. I was hooked, dude. This show is dark.
Yeah.
It is dark, dude. Like, and it is a lot, like, it's got a lot of coming of age things, questions about, things about, like, just like, growing up, right? Like, and just, like, dealing with who you are. And I absolutely love this. And it's got and then they spin it as a sci-fi element. And I also thought that was cool. So when I first saw this title, I thought this was just going to be some kind of ecchi, fan servicey stuff, which Well, and so like I didn't exactly put it that high up on my tier list, right? I was like, oh, sure, whatever, right? So for the longest time, I think that's what kept me from watching it. And then eventually, as more and more praise built for the show, I finally caved. This season sucked. So, kind of everything lined up perfectly for me to just take a look at it. And I am so late to the party, but dude, this is so good.
Yeah, I think Bunny Girl Senpai was like one of my favorite anime of that season, and still one of my favorite anime just like of all time. I think it's really high up there on my list, and I'm glad you finally watched it, man. Dude, people used to call it Normie Gatari because it was like very similar in themes to like the Monogatari series, but it's like done for normies.
I like that
is
name.
What they said. So Normie Gatari. That's
a good name.
So maybe it's time you should watch Monogatari, man. I don't know. Maybe it's time.
maybe. Sure.
If you
we'll
like
see. We're working on it.
If you like the themes in Bunny Girl Senpai, I think you might enjoy Monogatari too. And yeah, I think just like what you said there, I think a lot of people were like, what is this thing called? Rascal? Okay, what? And then Bunny Girl?
Yeah.
Like, and then, it does lend itself to sounding like it's just like some, ecchi fan service show. And turns out the show's much more than that. And it has, I love the main couple. Like, they're so funny together and their interactions are great. And so, yeah,
Mai
Bunny
is
Girl
great.
Senpai. Yeah, Mai and I forgot the guy's name.
Black
Typical.
hair main anime pro tag.
But he's he's better than that, okay? You gotta.
He is. I'm doing him a disservice, definitely, by just calling him that. But yeah, it's also hard to just remember.
Sakuta,
names, so.
That's what his name is. Yeah, he's actually such a Chad, and I love him. So,
Giga Chad.
But I love how we both are just like, yeah, we love Mai and the guy that she's with. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll go next, and one of the shows that I've been recently binging on is Kuroko No Basket. Funny enough, it was just like one of the reasons why it just never really crossed my path, I guess, was that I was just really burnt out of sports anime for quite a while. Like, I had watched...
But it's not a sports anime.
Explain yourself.
It's a superhero anime.
Okay. But that's the thing, is that like I had just finished a lot of manga that were just like that, and I heard Kuroko is just more of the same. So I had been reading Prince of Tennis, the manga, Aishio 21, Golden Tsubasa, and whatever. So like it was just like all these manga that were about some kid who picks a supposed underdog kid, picks up a sport, and then becomes like this Superman of that sport, right? And so it was just like, okay, well, now it's basketball, great, like whatever. And so I just skipped over it, and now I went back now, and like I was like, okay, it's time. It came up on my Netflix list, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and it's exactly what I expected it to be. But it is really good, and I did realize too that it's animated by Production IG, which means that the actual animation is gorgeous. Sometimes, like, oh my goodness, they do some. It almost looks like they like traced real people in some of the shots that they did and exaggerate them for anime. That like it looks real nice, and yeah, I've been enjoying it. But yeah, so, like I was talking about, it's Supermen playing this game. Like
it's the battle of gods. You're talking about Itaden? Like, look, dude, this is true Itaden. Right?
It's funny because just like the exaggerations that they do for certain characters, but not for others. So like Kuroko is the main character in Kuroko No Basket, and his ability is basically he can turn himself, the basketball, his teammates, invisible to the human eye.
You got it, yeah, because but he can only do it for so long.
Yeah,
right?
That's his limitation. He can only do it for so long, which is just ridiculous.
when you translate that to real life, it's just like, okay, so when anybody looks at you, you just don't do anything. So like if you break it down to its bare bones, you're just like, okay, so if nobody looks at you or thinks about you, you're invisible.
I guess that's how it reminds me. Oh, what's that one? There's an old superhero movie, like a spoof, where it's these dudes and the guy's like, one of the main gang's ability is like, I can turn invisible when no one is looking at me.
Oh, Mystery Men.
Mystery Men. Yeah.
I hate that I knew that.
Hey, that movie. Actually, I haven't
Oh
seen
no,
that
it
movie
was
in a while
played
back.
by Kel Mitchell, and I loved Keenan and Kel growing up. So I know, dude. I know. I'm in the know. Okay. Let me ask you something though. Now that you've seen, how far in are you?
I'm on the 3rd season, and they're doing like the flashback to the Generation of Miracles middle school stuff. And
Good
we're
God.
we're learning more about Akashi, who is obviously going to be the last matchup for the team, and so
The Emperor Eye.
yeah.
Okay.
Also, I need to explain to people what the Emperor Eye is and how it plays out in the show. So basically, this kid Akashi, who's just this like red-haired guy, who's voiced by the same guy as Saiki K, by the way, which is very disconcerting when you first hear him, because I've watched Saiki K, but then I watched this show and they have the exact same voice, and it just like. I keep thinking that he's going to make like some funny gags, but his character in Kuroko No Basket is so serious. But anyways, he has this ability called Emperor Eye. And when he activates it, he basically sees like the center of gravity and like the way you're going to move. And so he can use that against you by crossing you over and making sure you're off balance. And so people just fall down around him essentially. And he just walks past you.
His ability is and oh god, I love that he says like sit. You know what
he's
I mean?
always like
down.
an emperor never lets people look down on him, and he just makes people sit all around him.
He's out there just breaking people's ankles, dude.
That's the ability. He just breaks ankles, and it's just so silly. Like again, it's like funny because him and Kuroko have these like very supernatural abilities, and then you have the purple haired guy, whatever his name is, really long name, and his ability is I'm really tall. He can block everything.
Atsushi?
I forgot his name.
Yeah, the mountain dude, right? Like he's like super tall.
And then like on Kuroko's team, his center, he's like, my ability is I have big hands and I can palm the ball.
Yo, power creep is a thing.
It's not even power creep, dude, because like it introduces itself so late too. It was like season 2
yes,
where
that's
he
true.
talks about it, and it's so funny because like in the same game, Kuroko's like, I'm gonna use my special ability, misdirection overflow. My teammates are invisible, and then his center's like, I've got vice claw, and he just palms the ball, and you're like, that's cool, I guess.
Kyoshi's a homie, dude. All right,
He's a homie.
a homie.
But he's the Hawkeye in a world of like Captain Marvels, you know. So
I mean, I'll admit that's fair. I mean, who's your favorite character? Because I'll say right now that I love Aomine, or like the blue-haired dude.
Yeah, he's great.
And I also love Midorima because he's pretty much anime Steph Curry. So, except for like as you had mentioned before, as we were exchanging messages, Steph Curry might actually just be better.
He's like Midorima actually went to the NBA and like grew up and like
yeah. Oh man, I can't wait till you watch the movie. Watch the movie, okay?
Oh, yeah,
whatever
I'm
you
gonna
do
watch
after
the movie
this,
afterwards
watch
for sure.
the movie
Because that's also on Netflix.
Man. Is it?
Yeah, it's
I
also
didn't
on
know
Netflix.
that.
Yeah, it's called like The Last Game or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. The show's been really fun. It is aged in a way because like I think sports anime as of recent have been less so like superhero heavy. You know, like when I think of Haikyuu, when I think of Run with the Wind, Ping Pong the Animation, some of these things that have been a little like I feel like sports anime trended at least the popular ones trended to a more like realistic level. But it was nice to go back and just watch like anime in its purest, mitigated self, like where people, like Midorima is just like, his game plan is pass me the ball and I'll make the three across the court.
from where you like pretty much at the check. It's kind of absurd, dude, and I love that. But like it's oddly over the top, but done taste like is it possible to be tasteful?
It is tasteful. Like I know, like I think that's why some of the characters, like especially Aomine, really you feel for them. Like despite them having these superhero abilities, essentially, they still make them feel like, you know, they have people problems the same way, you know, like especially with like the current part that I'm at where they're flashbacking back to their middle school days where like all of them just want to depend on themselves and the team sort of falls apart. And like, you know, even if you have superhero skills, if you don't have a way to unify the team, you know, you will fall apart. And I think that's they're the rock band, right? They're like the rock band that like split up because everyone wants to be the front man. So
they really were, and that's why I loved it. Like it kind of all ties back to the power of unity and friendship. But it's like what I love. It's what I love. And Tetsuya, too, is the best character in the whole show, if anyone asks.
Tetsuya, dude, yes. I love Aomine and I love Kisei Ryota. I think Kisei is just like so dope.
Yeah.
He's the Kakashi of the show where he can like copy everyone else's abilities, but he's also just like such a goon. That's like my favorite thing about him. He just like goes around, doesn't know what's up, and he's always like in a good mood, and I appreciate that about him.
No love for Kagami, however, dude. Okay, but you know what? He jumps pretty high, man. Like, but yeah,
Kagami is like you took any shonen main character and you just stuck him in there to be there.
That's literally like, oh come on, he's so much better than that.
He's okay. Like
he's so much better than that.
Pretty unilateral right now. He's definitely like not even in my top 5 favorite characters in that show.
Oh, come on. That's harsh. Well, okay. We'll move on to the next one because I feel like this is the perfect time to segue into this. Well, a show while I was watching, Kuroko's no Basket, like what? I think I technically saw this show a little after it aired, Kuroko no Basket. I saw it like probably like a year or two after it aired. Mm-hmm. And then after I finished that, tons of like people would say, "Hey, have you checked out Slam Dunk?" So finally, this year, I have started Slam Dunk. When I say this year, it's like 7 days into 2022. But like, I am now on season 2 of Slam Dunk, and after watching season 1 of Slam Dunk, I had to put it on the list. I can appreciate how like obviously by now, if you watch Slam Dunk, it's old, right? It's old, but I think it still ages fairly well. It's very charming. Like the main character is charming. The show's still pretty funny. And I think the one thing that I find the most hilarious and enjoyable about the show is that I can't help but think that the main character, I'm trying to remember his name, but the red-haired dude, right, is Kuwabara.
I'm looking at a picture, and he really just kind of does look like Kuwabara.
Yeah, like Sakuragi, like Hanamachi, Hanamichi, I think, like Hanamichi. If you imagine this so far, this whole first season, as he is Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho, just straight dunking on people, it is hilarious. So it works out perfectly, and I love the show, like the teamwork and the camaraderie, and watching like Hanamichi slowly enjoy basketball more. Like it obviously starts off as him just being in love with Haruko, and so it all starts from him just wanting to be with a girl, right? So I guess in a way, it kind of naturally the first simp would like that, right? Like,
Jesus Christ. I hate that you've accepted this title, and now you're just like, yes, that's what I want to be.
Dude, I was made for this. No, like I genuinely think this show though makes a lot of sense why people would recommend it, right? It's just Kuroko without the superpowers. Mm-hmm. And so it really kind of, like, if I were to really compare, like oftentimes you see Kuroko compared with like Haiku, right? But and I would still choose Kuroko over Haiku. But this I think actually matches the power level of haiku. Right, when it comes to all the, or I guess technically haiku matches the power of
Haiku.
Haiku, yes, haiku, whatever.
Haiku is a Japanese poem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Haiku. Oh man, I kept. Oh god. Okay, I'll get on that
pronunciation
later.
of anime titles.
If anime is just not real, just don't ask me to do it. Okay. So the thing is, I know that haikus, like characters, like when you watch the show, they're not like absurd. They're not like gods. But Slam Dunk, and so Slam Dunk is a lot of like that. And so really it's just cool watching the team come together. And of course, naturally, the first years are like 7'4" and look like 30-year-olds. But sure, high schoolers, right? First years, freshmen.
Yeah.
Freshmen. So if you find it funny when you look at Kuroko no Basket, and how all the characters look like they're in their 40s, or like full on like NBA level superstars, like grizzled veterans, but they're somehow high schoolers, you're gonna watch this and you're like, oh, I get why they all look like that now, because this whole show, not a single person looks like they're in high school. Like not a single person. So I think that this show though does hit all the check marks for what makes it so legendary. And obviously why I didn't watch it was just because, to be honest with you, when it was around, like when it came out, it wasn't like I was super looking for sports anime at the time. Mm-hmm. And so it just felt good that, now I can watch it with a much more, I wish I had a glass of wine for this, but a more refined taste in anime.
I mean, I think anime from that era too was just a little bit before our time, honestly. Despite how old we are. Yeah, exactly. Like it came out in 93, it's finished in 96, and so like for a lot of us, the only exposure we had to anime of that era was through like Cartoon Network or Toonami and these, because like that's how I watched all those 97 animes like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Outlaw Star. Like the only reason I have exposure to that stuff is because of what was airing for us in America. But yeah, it's kind of cool now to go back and see what other things you've watched. An anime that I've heard lots of people say is like actually one of the best anime, or if you like mecha stuff, is Legend of Galactic Heroes, I believe, or something. And it's like kind of like the almost like the progenitor Gundam show in some ways. And so like that's not on my list, but that's like the same era of show, just like older, but like a lot of people say it still holds up really well because the writing is so good. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, like and you really, when you come back to this now, like you really get to enjoy the comedy and enjoy what went into it, and you can kind of see like how it kind of spawned the next wave, right? You can see how it really started. Kind of just helped move the genre along. So Slam Dunk is solid, and you really know it's the early 90s because when characters or anything happens, it's got like this 80s synth pop song that pops up, and I'm just like, damn, that's hella outdated, but it's relevant, right? Like it was done then unironically, right? Nowadays, nowadays it's done like jokingly and like kind of like paying homage to it, but back then it was like, yo, that was intentional. Like that's good. I love it. I love that. So, I mean, that's my other pick, right? Slam Dunk. So naturally, right after you mentioned Kuroko no Basket, but what is another show you're watching or have watched or starting to watch?
One of the shows, so now I'm going to go into my spoiled one from before, and that one's going to be Odd Taxi. I've only watched one episode of Odd Taxi, and it was like the reason why I missed out on Odd Taxi was that I believe the season that it came out in was relatively stacked. Let me see exactly when it was. But I remember people being like, "Oh, Odd Taxi's really good. Odd Taxi's really good." And I'm like, I believe you guys, but I was just busy. Oh, I was watching My Hero Academia, Tokyo Revengers, To Your Eternity, 86, Vivi, Fruits Basket, all these other anime.
How Not to Summon a Demon Lord.
Yeah. It's and the thing is that like, Zombieland Saga Revenge was that season. Like it was a pretty good season for anime, and so it just happened to fall by the wayside. But I really regret it, and so hearing how many people lauded Odd Taxi as being like, hey, this is actually anime of the year. worthy. Like I was like, oh shit, I really missed the boat on that. And so I went back and I've watched now one episode of it, and it like even just the first episode, you can tell that the show was going to be something pretty extraordinary, and I am excited to watch the rest of it. I mean, for people who don't know what Odd Taxi is, it's like this mystery show centered around these like anthropomorphized animal characters. So like you follow a taxi driver who's like a walrus, and he's got this very gruff exterior, and yeah, I just
He's very dry.
Yeah,
when he talks too.
And it's funny because like every other character always makes fun of how dry and stuff he is. Like his interactions with other more normal people, I would say, is it's just like kind of funny because they're always taken aback by this sort of things that he says.
And he's so blunt. Like he's so forward about everything. He never like hides anything, and like how he truly feels. And I love that, by the way. He doesn't like have to fake nice or anything.
Yeah, because he's like an older guy. So in any case, Odd Taxi is a really interesting show, even one episode in, and I heard I should try to and stay away from spoilers because the show is, again, it's a mystery. You don't really want to spoil the mystery from the onset, so I'm excited to watch the rest of it.
Oh, the moon's haunted, dude.
Oh, the moon?
Yeah, the moon's haunted.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole story, dude.
Oh, I don't know how they got from a taxi cab and
yeah, that's the mystery,
a
dude.
person to a
and then Nick Fury comes in at the end and is like, "We definitely need an Avengers." So I'm putting together a team.
The taxi guy's going to be an Avenger. Okay.
Yeah, phase 5 Marvel. So
I didn't
like,
realize.
Look, you heard it here first. No, like funny enough, that's also on my list because I watched it like 2 seasons removed. And I actually was there to watch it with Xell, and I think one of the things that I will say without spoiling the show is watch the show, but you can't just watch it one time through and get it. There's lots of details in this show that you will miss. I promise that. So just watch it and watch it numerous times. Like I think we watched episode 1 together twice.
Yeah, because once it was just us, and once we watched it with Kelly. And even then I was like, wait, I didn't catch all of this even my first run through, and like I'm sure it just gets even more extreme as I learn more about each character as well.
Yeah, see, so like, well, since Zell's already got my other pick on my list, I may as well talk about it a little bit too. I am almost done with it. I'm on episode 10, and I am really upset with myself for putting the show off for as long as I did. That's all I will say.
Dang.
I am really upset with myself. I mean, like, I'll take L's. I'm good at taking L's. But like this one, this is an L I cannot I cannot deal with. It's if you are not watching this, the biggest thing for me that put me away from the show, like put me off the show, was its art. A lot of times, as you've heard numerous times on our podcast, I will not watch a show just based on the art and the style that it looks like because it just doesn't appeal to me, or it looks,
Crim needs like very typical looking waifus to
Look. I'm not saying I need typical waifus, okay? I watch Dude, okay?
Yeah.
We're not getting into that because then I'm going to expose my trash. So, like, the thing
Odd
here
Taxi, is Ping Pong the animation, like Vinland Saga.
Are there even waifus in Ping Pong?
Maybe you'd have to watch to figure that out.
Maybe you're right. Okay, maybe you're right. I will say though, Odd Taxi did put me off because it looks like kids art. I thought it was Zootopia, but anime.
Oh my!
Right, and so
this judgmental fellow over here. Can you get
was
a load
wrong.
of this guy?
I was wrong. Okay, forgive me. I know.
Maybe you should check
I was
your
wrong.
Biases, you Osama ranking not watcher.
I'll admit I'm also going to probably be wrong with that too.
Ping Pong the animation.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I already know that's revered as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, sports anime. So I will accept my L on those, and even accept future L's, just like example, when I eventually watch Ping Pong. But for right now, Odd Taxi, the art style threw me off. That's what it was. And I'll be it got praised that season. It got more praise the following season. And no matter what, I just couldn't. Just something about a main character that looks like a walrus surrounded by like Donkey Kong, and then you know what I mean, like all of that stuff, and like
That's
monkeys and alpacas. Like it doesn't seem like a show I'd want to watch. Like it's not high priority. And
I would totally watch a walrus guy with Donkey Kong.
Okay, fair. maybe that concept on its own is more appealing than I thought it was. but yeah, that's it for me. I mean, other than that, it was legitimately art. That's the main thing that will keep me away from a show. Like how the art looks.
Another show that I want to bring up next is like an entire sort of franchise, I guess. So there's a couple of big franchises that I think a lot of people have heard of, but are intimidated to get into, right? And so like, I think Monogatari is an example
Black
of that.
Bible.
I don't know what that is. One Piece.
Okay. All right.
One Piece is another show
sure.
that, you know, like there's a lot of people who are into it. I'm literally just going to skip over everything. One Piece and you know, people are like, oh, it's such a big show, but it's like so intimidating to get into. Well, I think another category of show or that's kind of like that is Fate, the Fate universe. Because Fate Stay Night, Fate's, Zero, there's like so many different Fates. And like, I've always joked on my stream about saying that like, you have to have a PhD in anime to understand what the heck is happening in Fate, because there's so many different timelines that occur within it. And
I mean, yeah.
But TBH, I think the crux of why people like Fate in the first place is just they like watching the crazy, insane fights that happen with it within it, and like I'm kind of like, okay, I'll check it out because it is animated by Ufotable, and if people used to joke that like. It's Fate Unlimited Budget Works instead of Blade Works because they just seem to have pumped so much money and stuff into the animation. And obviously Ufotable is well known for their work on Demon Slayer as of late. And so, yeah, I like Fate was just one of those things that have been on my backlog for a long time. And I'm excited to eventually take a gander at Fate, and see how it is. Because I remember long time ago, I watched the original Fate Stay Night, and
Which one's the original?
It's the one that was done by Studio Dean. And
what's the name of that?
Oh, it was also Fate Stay Night, I believe.
Okay, not Fate Stay Night Masterworks or something. Because like this is the same thing. I don't know which one I watched, but I watched one of them.
The original Fate Stay Night was in 2006. Fate Stay Night, the newer version, is Unlimited Blade Works, and that came out in 2014. And so I watched...
That's the one everyone says to watch.
Exactly. And so I watched the 2006 one, and I was like, it's whatever. It's, I just like, at the time I was pretty unimpressed. And then recently I watched, a couple episodes of Unlimited Blade Works, and I was like, it looks very familiar, but wow, the animation does not feel the same as I remember it did. And I didn't realize that, they remade the whole thing, but Ufotable did everything instead of Studio Dean. And so, yeah, I think it makes a big difference because like I said, the story is incomprehensible anyways. So you might as well watch for the pretty lights and the dope like soundtrack and stuff. And so, I'm curious to see what all these people are, why so many people are into Fate, and if it really is just because people really just want to stand Saber and Tosaka and all the other reasons why people lose thousands of dollars per month to the gacha game.
Why people just like burning money?
Yeah. I am curious. So, yeah, so Fate is up there for me for like a show I think that I eventually want to get into.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like I myself never got around to finishing it. Like I watched Blade Masterworks or whatever. That one was okay. Maybe because I went into it with like the like hype building it up, right? Like I'm expecting this masterful, visually it is masterful.
Yeah.
Story-wise, is it that good? Like I might get flack for this, but I'm good at that.
I'm with you there. Like I'm pretty sure Fate Stay Night is not exactly well known for its story, like at all, except So this is where, again, I feel like you need a PhD. So the different Fate stuff that exists, like Fate Zero, I had watched. If you have not watched Fate Zero, I highly, if there's anything, if you're listening to this and you have no idea where to start with Fate, and I know maybe some Fate nerds out there, PhDs out there might disagree, but Fate Zero was like the one show that I got told to watch and I didn't regret it. And it's like very self-contained and it does have implications to other stuff within the Fate universe, but like on its own, it's fantastic. I would highly recommend just Fate Zero. And that one's just like 12 episodes and you're done.
Okay, I mean, I believe that's the prequel, right? But everyone says to just start at Master. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna,
dude. This is why you need a PhD. Like literally, I saw a flow chart of like how you should watch and experience Fate, and it was like, well, if you start here, you'll spoil yourself down the road from here and here. But if you start here, like all of them spoiler each other. It's dumb, and it's again.
So it's the Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny.
Yes, it's
meme,
literally
right? Where
that.
he's got like all the lines dragged across, and it's like, and that's where you should start with Fate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay, great.
Man.
So explain that all to me once again.
Yeah, that seems like how it goes. But okay, you know what? This next show that a show that I've got that'll be a little bit more to follow. Matter of fact, it's the perfect show to watch if your attention span is like what? 10-minute episode or like 10-minute segments for like each episode. Like what? One episode is 20 minutes, 23 minutes. There's probably about 2 episodes in one. So it's Saiki K.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of when you had mentioned Saiki K's voice actor voicing, not Akaza. That's
Akashi.
That's Akashi because Akaza kind of looks like Akashi, but demon form. But yeah. So, anyways, yes. So that is so true. But since it's the reverse order, right? For me, I'm like, I've heard this voice actor before who voices Saiki, right? And then I looked it up and that's when I found that out. But yeah, that show is hilarious. Why didn't I watch it before? Because I thought the main character looked kind of silly and I didn't understand that was what the show wanted to be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Dude.
And it's just like, so he has like 2 gumballs in his head. Like,
yeah.
And
they inhibit his powers, man.
And after I saw that and they explained why he is the way he is and why those gumballs are there, oh my God, that show is hilarious. And the characters that surround him are even better, right? Like
God.
You have the girl that is just hilariously vain. Right, like, and she is so into herself, and like, what's her name? Kokomi or no, that's just Kakashi. Never mind. No, Kokomi is just absolutely hilarious. You have the dude that can talk to the dead. You have his really dumb best friend, and my 2 favorites
Nendo
are probably Nendo's the dumb best friend who has his dad, who is literally a spitting image of him. And, like, the show is so dumb, and I'm still finishing it. Like I've gotten through like I think most of first season, but holy hell, it is hilarious. I am crying half the time. But my 2 favorite characters are the redheaded sports captain guy, because he is like every single sports trope in anime put into one body. He is so like, just every time he talks, it's like I've seen that in a sports anime. That guy is that guy and that guy and that guy and that guy. What's his name? Haro? He's the redheaded dude, but he's not my favorite. He's actually my second favorite. My favorite is Kaido. He's the dude that thinks he's actually every day is actually an anime, or he lives in like
the Chunibyo.
Yeah, dude, he is. Oh my God. This dude is hilarious.
The Black Dragons, man. We have to watch out. Yeah, he's a riot.
I love his one glove. I love the way he gets super serious. And my favorite is that his parents tell him to get friends. And I just love everything he does. Whether it's a compliment that some people have said, "Hey, you remind me of him," I'll take it as a W. So
okay, interesting.
Hey, that's a win for me. I think he's a great character. I cannot tell you how much I love this guy. So, and then of course there's Saiki himself. So if you're into something, for those that don't know, by the way, I went into this, explained a lot, and haven't told you what the synopsis of it is. In short, Saiki is a psychic. His brain is so big. He's got such strong psychic powers. He has power inhibitors, and he's been able to read minds and do tons of things since birth. And his parents are so hilarious. But yeah, like, and that's the whole show. And it's just an everyday psychic that is absurdly powerful. Imagine like Professor Xavier just has to live a normal life.
Yeah. Except he has no social skills either.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But with like negative social skills.
Yes. His whole goal is to like avoid interacting with other people. And it's just so funny, dude. Like that show also, I feel like, I don't know, personally, it runs so fast that I feel like I need to like smoke a ton of weed or something to slow my brain down so that it feels like normal pace. It literally feels like you're watching a YouTube video at like 2x because of how fast the gags are. They're one after another.
I feel like they talk fast too.
Yeah,
right?
they do. It's just rapid pace all around. And but that's kind of the charm of it too, is like you just get slapped in the face with humor constantly in every episode. And yeah. I haven't watched actually all of it. Maybe I should watch some of that too, because I think the nice thing about that show too is that like you can kind of just turn it on whenever, right? Like it's not like there's not heavy investment for the entire show. And so okay, so Saiki K, that voice actor, like, I just can't unhear his voice in so many characters, by the way, because like he's Akashi from Kuroko No Basket, but he's also Araragi from Monogatari, but he's also what's his name from Attack on Titan, and I can't unhear that too. So it's just like he just has like a very unique quality to his voice, and I just can't unhear him.
Stern, like tone that he just has.
He just has this way of like. Yeah, like I don't know. He just has like a really recognizable voice to me. So the last one I'm going to talk about is another like long anime project that I'd had to embark on. And so again, I talked about like there are fandoms like JoJo's, Fate, Monogatari that are just kind of like intimidating to get into. Well, this one might be the king of it all, TBH, but it's been the top animes like. It takes up a lot of the top like 50 slots on my anime list, and that's Gintama. And Gintama is a show that I know at some point I'm going to watch and I'm going to love it, but it is a very long running show. But I've heard that the humor in it is like unparalleled. And I keep seeing clips pop up here and there on Reddit and on like Twitter and whatever. And the show does just look absolutely hilarious. And like it is very referential. And I feel like as somebody who's been watching anime for so long would really appreciate like all the running gags that they do. Like they had an entire episode talking about like anime deadlines and how like why shows draw out conversations for so long, and then they're like, that's exactly what we're doing. Like they constantly fourth wall break like that. And it's just like a show that I've been moderately interested in, but like haven't had the courage to just like go ahead and start it. Cause like if you look at the top anime on my anime list, like Gintama is literally number 2, number 6, number 9, number 10, number 11. Like it takes up so many of the top spots on my anime list. And I've always been curious. I've watched the most of the top 50 on my anime list now. And like, that's one of the ones that I'm like, at some point I should really, really watch this. And maybe soon it's time.
Yeah. I mean, let me just slightly ask you a question here. Are you going through something? You've got this like binge right now in your life where you've got a lot of silver gray-haired characters around you. You're just rewatching Kuroko, Gintama's main character. I just dyed my hair silver and gray. So like you just got blue. Look, dude, I get it, man. You just miss good old Crim. I get it. Dude. I get it. I get it.
Man. All right. So we've come to the end of where we want to talk about today, I think. I thank you, Crim, for realizing that I need to get away from it all. No, but in actuality, though, like this is just a personal note, and again, the reason why I'm not on camera today is like I am breaking out in allergy reactions all over my body that make it incredibly painful to exist in my life, in my own skin, and which is why I'm not on camera, because I have rashes literally all over my face, my body, whatever, and I have to constantly put itch cream on it, like. Right now, I just want you guys to know that I've just been like butt naked the whole time.
I'm just imagining the most naked, like that, like just person chilling, like at the end of Hereditary, just a naked person, but just sitting in a chair.
I'm not even sitting because the chair causes reactions, so I'm just standing here.
Oh my God.
Butt naked.
So you're T-posing all the time.
Basically.
Naked, butt naked. Okay.
So yeah. So we're going to end you guys itchy. On that mental note.
You're itchy, you're T-posing, and apparently you miss me. I get it, man. I get it.
God.
I get it.
Okay. Anyways, thanks y'all for watching.
Whoa, hold on. We got one more.
Okay.
We got one more.
God,
all right.
We couldn't just ended.
No. Sorry, bud. Sorry. I want you to let that. I want you to sit. Or I guess stand nakedly and let that simmer. Nakedly? But yeah. I have my number one show. The one that I just like finally got caught up with this past year. And it's difficult to love an otaku. Wotakoi, I saw it I think 2 years ago. I guess not this past year. Some time has passed, huh? So I saw it in 2020. And dude, I loved it so much. I went and bought the manga to read. I think every character, we had talked about this before, and it really is awesome watching mid-20s working anime characters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's so nice to see that, and the fact that they're so relatable. They just want to play Monster Hunter. Not Monster Hunter. Something that sounds a lot like Monster Hunter.
It looks a lot like it.
Yeah. Whatever. Monster Poacher, right? They're playing Monster Poacher. But I love everything about that, and I love all the charms between the characters, right? They have this cute way of flirting and interacting with each other. And the misunderstandings and all the things that go on between them that are just really well written for a romance anime kind of thing. So, I enjoy it to the level that I enjoyed Horimiya or anything like that? No, but I still think it's a very good manga anime. Mm-hmm. It is if you're a fan of romance and just slice of life or comedies, I think this fills that void, and it does a very good job of doing so. So on your time off. And trying to mentally picture Xell naked, scratching himself, T-posing. You can also have Wotakoi in the background.
Wotakoi is literally one of my favorite recent romance animes, man. And for anyone who hasn't watched it, it's so refreshing, like you said, to see more mature adults handle romance issues and romance itself while balancing work life or balancing their hobbies. And I absolutely love it. So I think I just want another season of it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I read the manga. Just it seems okay, they haven't announced it. We're probably not going to get it, and if we do, it's going to be 19 years down the line, or something along the lines of how Devil's a Part-Timer. I feel Devil's a Part-Timer did itself a disservice by taking so long to announce second season. Mm-hmm. So I feel if Wotakoi were to come back, it'd be a lot like that. Yeah. So I think that's 10 animes. Granted that we had some overlap here, between Odd Taxi and whatnot, but there's so let's say 9 animes there. There's a lot of good stuff here, and lots of it are things that wouldn't normally appeal to you in the mainstream, or wouldn't it's not going to be the next Jujutsu Kaisen by any chance. But it is something very, very good to watch. And I'm not saying that these Jujutsu Kaisen is better than this, but it's not your battle anime. It's not your typical anime. But I will say a lot of these are very, very, very solid watches. Slam Dunk's got 3 seasons. Same with Kuroko No Basket. And, Bunny Girl Senpai's only got 1, along with Wotakoi. And Odd Taxi's only got 12 episodes. You got time before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
So these are going to be solid watches and relatively quick watches, like Saiki K. Lots of episodes of Saiki K, but it's deceiving because the show moves very fast.
Yeah.
So just like take a shot, check these out. These are things that we overlooked, but maybe you've already seen them. But if you haven't, go check them out. So any closing thoughts for you, Xell?
No, again, as always, I would love to hear what, people are catching up themselves, what they're excited for, what they've watched recently. So yeah, go ahead and post those down in the YouTube comments below. And with that, like, comment, subscribe, and
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Niisan.
We see you coming in. So thank you for that. And thank you for all the subs, by the way. We're over like 500 now.
Hell yeah. And
what's our exact number?
I'm not sure.
Let me see. What's our exact number? We're at 528. We're almost at 530, pushing 600 in maybe sometime this year, maybe in a couple months. So we'll see. So yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Yep. Catch you guys in the next episode, and we'll see you guys then. All right. Thanks for watching and listening.